Okay, so this is our main harness kit. It's like I said, Ron Francis, access 24/7. When you go on their site, they want it built not by the vehicle, they want it built by the engine. So we're a Chevy engine, so that's what we got. This kit's kind of neat. So there's two big magnets here that allows you to be able to put this up under the dash, and then if you ever need access, you can just pull it out to you. That's why it's called the 24/7 access, I believe. But we're not putting this in today. I've got a lot of work to do to lay all this out. Basically, what all this is going to do is take each harness. This is for the Chevrolet, for the steering column, right? Yeah, turn signal, brake switch, and horn wiring. We'll wire this into the plug, and then everything's just going to be plug and play after we're done hooking everything up. So it's all labeled and set and ready to go. It's kind of like your, what's the name of that company? It's the other wiring company. Oh, Easy Wiring. Is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called. I can't think. But either way, every wire, if you can see it through here, is labeled and printed on there. Can you see it in the camera there? So everything's labeled and printed. We've got new headlight switch, all new relays, and flasher, our grommet piece that's going to go for the harness going outside of the cab. So my job now is I need to go through all this, and I'm going to do that off camera. I need to get loom. This is the loom we're going to use, which is kind of like almost like a Chinese finger trap, but it is split. So I have to get some more and multiple sizes to be able to fit the loom we need in order to get down the vehicle and everything else. All right, folks, we're back. So we're going to start running some of these wires, start getting some loom put on, just get an overall scope of what we got going on. So, yep, that's what we're doing today. So I need to split this into left hand and right hand side. Hopefully y'all can see what's going on. There's no light in here. There's no electricity. Last time I was here, I don't know if it'll be in the edit or not, but all I did was kind of just get my bearings and snake a few things into some direction. And today we're going to try to at least get everything into its place on where it needs to be terminated. And then we can get some loom put on everything at that point. All right, so this is all our lights. So red, get this one off. Red is headlight. Brown is high beam. Brown is, or this light tan is parking lamp. And then this blue is right-hand turn. So we're going to separate these off from these. Got to make sure that what I've got inside the vehicle has got enough length and distance. So let's go look at that real quick, make sure. Because the other end, grab my flashlight. Basically, the other end of the high beam and the headlight circuits are under here, and they need to be able to get to the cluster for the indicators. So I was pulling on all that stuff, and I just need to make sure I've got enough length before I move all that. I had plenty of it the other day, but I was pulling on this pretty hard just now, and basically, so like here goes to our headlight switch. Oh man, I got this twisted. No, I don't. That goes to the rear. Okay. How am I gonna want? I'm gonna have to move some of this real quick because it's twisted into some of the wires. So let's do that real fast. I know this looks crazy, but I actually know where all of it is, so we're okay. All right, so like I said, this is our headlight switch here. Let's make sure we've got space here now. And then these all are for like my gauges and everything. Let's wrap these over the edge. It's good like that. This is for our fuel pump. All right, so here's our lights. This one's something from the car that goes to our dome lights. I'm not worried about that right now. These are our turn signals for the rear. This yellow and the purple is a third brake, and the white. So here's our headlight switch. Here's these other two that I was talking about. They splice in for the turn signal indicators. So this is the line. I was just trying to make sure that I had plenty to get, you know, where I need to underneath here. So I think right about here is pretty good, because I got plenty of line out there. My headlamp switch technically bolts here, so this is about where that would be in reality, right there. What's this? So yeah, headlamp switch, dash lights, yeah, all that stuff. I still have this twisted up in here though. No, we're good like that. Okay, that's good. I like that where it is. That gives me plenty of space to do what I need to on those. This is just some old ground wire. Okay, let's go back under the hood and let's keep running some wires. So basically these are that I was just messing with. So we're gonna kind of throw a little bit of tape on them together. Because these, we're gonna hit a loom, go down through this fender well, and then we're gonna continue another piece of loom off and go to that side over there. So this is gonna sit. The old one sat on the radiator, but I don't know if I like that. I think I want it to go down onto the frame, the cross member down there, and then to that side. So let's pull this back. And let's put some tape on this so we can keep our wires together clean. Hey, come on. Okay, that's a good start right there. Because that'll go under the radiator across that frame rail. So we're going through our fender, we're down underneath, go to the other side. And then this will go right under here and then up to this point here, and we'll come back. Fucking phone. Okay, so I'm not much further than when you saw me last, but I am a little bit. I haven't really gone over this wiring harness since I got it, and I should have, and I didn't. But that's fine. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. Basically, I'm not used to this kind of kit, right? See all these connectors? A million connectors. The way they're doing things is slightly different than other manufacturers. I've never used a Ron Francis wiring harness before. It's very nice, but it's a little bit more meh. Just aggravating, I guess I could say. I'm used to like painless. I've used painless a lot in the past, and those work real well. They're not a great kit, but they're a good kit. And this one's a little different. So my battery is behind you, which is under the footwell. So that main harness that I had pulled out through there, we're not doing that because it doesn't go out there. It has to go up over the dash and then down in that footwell over there to the battery. And then this plug is what they're sending me for my ignition switch. But with GM column, this is my ignition switch. So it's not a big deal. I can get a new connector like this. I'm going to. I already have it written down. So that way I can take the pins out of this one and then go into that. Because I don't think they sent me that at all. I don't see it anywhere in my bags. So what I did so far is I just hooked up my high beam, my headlight, so that way I understand what those wires are. Horn switch. So these two are turn signal. These two are turn signal. Horn switch. And I believe these two right here, which is going to be hazards and another turn flasher one. This should be probably a power feed in. But anyway, these are what I have to wire into my turn signal switch. But then this plug, yeah, so then once this is wired in, then this plug here, it just plugs in. So there's a lot of that going on where we do all that and then plug it in. That's why I was looking for a connector, assuming it would go to a separate ignition switch. I just didn't see one, but maybe I'm just missing it. Let me put you down and let's take a look. So these wires here are not wires that I would typically be using on this mainly. What's in here? All right, so same with these. These go for external separate relays. This is just my mounting. Oh, there it is. You son of a bitch. Anyway, what we're going to do as my last thing for today is wire up the turn signal switch real quick, and possibly ignition, because so there's a 4 1/4, and then there's a 3 7/8. So yeah, 3 7/8 is the one I got. So I have the P one. I was correct on that. Looking at these directions, we have their color wires. Then they have the Flaming River, which is like your 65 and up. I did it Flaming River color wires. GM 64 and lower, and then the GM connector letter. So assuming we don't know what year this column came out of, that's our biggest problem we have right now. So it's mainly a guess on what it is, but I'm sure we can figure it out. And if it doesn't work, we'll just take it apart. It's only for turn signals, so, and you know, stoplights and stuff like that. We can figure all that out. I was gonna try to wire it up here just to kind of get things in play, but so brown is our horn switch, and that should be on, the GM letter is G, so that would mean it'd be this one here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it'll be correct there. It gives me just like a starting point on where we are. Let's see, and then gray would be our turn signal flasher, which is L. And then theirs is pink. It's a 4-way flasher. If it's used, that would be in K. And then we got brake light, which is purple, which is typically in P. Which is this one here. Okay, and then we've got green, which is going to be our left turn, which is H, which will be this one here. And then right turn, which should be J. Oh shit, what did I do? I think I got them crossed. Oh, L is in the wrong spot. Son of a motherless goat. Okay, after way too long of trying to get these damn things out, let's go back. Gray is on L. So P, N, M, that one. And then pink was on K. That's that one. And then which one? The blue was the one I was trying to do before, and I jacked that up. So it's on J, which is this one here. So we should have just about everything tied into our turn signal switch the way it needs to be. These go to the indicators, horn switch, wherever that goes. And then this one for the hazards. And then this goes to the brake switch. So let's look up these on our wiring diagram. Yeah, so that's going to plug in right here on the harness. Let's see if you're looking about where I'm at. So the purple will go into here, and then our horn switch one will go into here. That'll go, so basically the switches feed into this, which will feed into my turn signal relay, my horn relay, and then the wires heading out. So this is a typical switch for these style of column. So it tells us where to take those out and to put them. So let's get them pinned out real quick. Okay, now brown though, I'm gonna have to change, I think. Got to read the paperwork first. All right, so red's in the middle, but so brown talks about going in that bottom section. But in our wiring diagram, I have another brown that comes from the alternator and goes to the ignition switch. Yeah. So that's the brown coming in. It's supposed to go to the ignition switch on the accessory side. So that means I have to tie that brown into the same brown. Okay, well, I am really close to being done. I'm going to give you a heads up. I'll give you an overall scope of what's going on and where we sit right now. So what we've got here, so this is our headlights and turn and everything for the left front. This is where it's coming through the firewall here. It's going through this grommet, and then the right side goes over there. And then we've got the rest of this coming down underneath the master cylinder. This is for our coil and our oil temp sender right there. Our coolant temp sender and our alternator wires are right here. And then that green and blue bundle is for the horn and the starter. And then that's for the right side turn and headlight and high beam and all that. Now, the fun stuff. This is basically where we're at. Let me get this flashlight turned on here. Now, that's still a hell of a mess, but it's organized. I know it might look like shit on camera, but it's not. We've got our turn signal switch. Everything's been isolated. We have our headlight switch here because it's going to go right here. We've got our high beam switch down here. And then all of our accessories that we're going to use for the box that goes right here. And then that's where the fuse panel is going to go. It's just kind of sitting up there for now. There's two big magnets that you screw to the firewall, and then this magnetizes to it so you can pull it down and out so you can have space to work. And then these powers over here are going to be what goes to the little fuse block, not fuse block, but the what the fuck's it called? I can't think right now. This will go up over there, and all those will tie into it. And then the battery one is that yellow butt connector there. We're going to use a new wire, which is this one, which is almost, I don't know, it's a lot heavier gauge than that one over there, because like I said, our battery is right there. So this is about what it looks like for now. Once we get, we confirm that the vehicle runs, then all of this will get tidied up nicer. And like right here, this wire, this here and this, we have such a heavy amount of extra wire. Oh, this belongs here. This goes to our gauge cluster. That doesn't go down in the back. So that made it look a little worse than it really was. You see, it's really not that bad. But yeah, not bad. It's just about all hooked up, almost to the point where we can start to fire this thing. So hopefully, when I come back next week, we could get this thing nearly finalized so we can fire it and then test with like a power probe or a test light at our lights to make sure all that works, because we still don't have the valance in for the headlights. That's back here. It's right here. Oh, and then all those wires hang in here. I forgot to clean this up, but this here is all of our rear turn signal and everything. That's going to come all the way along here and then run down through the truck because the lights are back here. We have behind the license plate, there's a popper switch. So you just push on the license plate and the door opens, but we're going to change that. There's an old crappy popper here, and someone redid this door, made it fiberglass and cut all the steel out. Did a real shitty job on it, big time. Still got a lot of work to do, but made a lot of headway today, so I'm pretty happy about all that. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next video.